Hello friends, welcome back to CCSP certified channel. We started OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities couple of lecture before. This is continuation of the same. We'll cover couple of them also in this lecture today. And if you are new to my channel, I would like to inform that I have already covered 5 topics before this. This is topic 6 going on, and even in the topic 6 is a lecture 13 going on. Prior to this, I have already covered encryption and uses of encryptions to secure in the secure cloud. Also, I have covered identity access management, cloud characteristics, risk in the cloud, and the international laws and standard. This way, I already covered over 80% syllabus. Remaining syllabus and important topics I am covering from the topic 6. It will be last topic from this video series. And if you want to know why I started this video series, so around couple of years before, when I did my preparation, I did not found a useful information which is available freely on the internet on this course. So my ambition or my goal is to get you further faster in your CCSP exam certification, and my ambition or my the area I will cover is the high probability exam topics and also difficult exam concept, because soundness of concept is very important to clear any of the IC square exam, especially CCSP, and also questions along with the theory covered from various sources. I believe that if you read the theory and if you don't see what type of questions may come from those theories, you will get very it will be very difficult to you to solve them later. So I cover the questions, and the questions are not only from CCSP question bank, but I do conduct classroom teachings also. So my candidate feedback also, I collect the questions, memory based question, and cover them. I have 100% success ratio as of now. You can refer my LinkedIn that I will share my detail in this one for their feedback. Also, I try to use my 15 years of industry experience in CCSP, CISSP, and other cloud certification learning to make things simple and easy for you. Many candidates ask me, is it sufficient? Yeah, it is a free and sufficient study, but sometimes you need a more comprehensive study and you want personal assistance on some of the topics, because this is a one-way operation. I'm speaking and you are listening, but there is no channel to resolve your doubts or discuss any topic in detail. In those scenarios, I would uh, share that I do have options like I do conduct batches and some frequency, and also there is options to purchase a self-paced training program. So along with the recorded session, I provide 5 personal doubt session classes, and those are very nominal rate. So if you are interested to go with the classroom program also, you write me on the ccsp-certified gmail.com or WhatsApp me on this number. There is no calling facility on this number, only WhatsApp me to discuss about your doubts or discuss about any of the program you want to enroll for. So now we come to the topic of the day, which is OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. We'll do a quick recap in a minute, and then we'll come to the topic, which is A05 and A10. So it is a actually OWASP is a Open Worldwide Application Security Program, and every 4 years they publish a top 10 vulnerabilities. Latest was in 2021, and that is part of our syllabus. So top 10 critical vulnerabilities on the application you should be aware of, and there are few new entries in every edition. Rest remains same, but the order of the frequency changes. So A05, which is security misconfiguration, and A9, which is security logging and monitoring failures, that will cover in this one. And security configuration is not a new one, which was already there in 2017. This one is a new, which is part of insufficient login monitoring. So this also not a new but renamed. So this we'll cover today. Hopefully in next couple of lectures we'll able to cover the remaining one also. So what I have covered so far, I have covered the SQL injection. You do watch my old videos if you are not sure what type of vulnerabilities these are. I have already covered the broken authentication. I have already covered the sensitive data exposure and the cross-site scripting. Very, very important. One question from cross-site scripting you will definitely see in your exam. You understand how this works from my previous video. And the last one I covered was the component with the non-vulnerabilities. So today we'll cover the security misconfiguration, how to prevent it, and login and monitoring purpose. So security misconfiguration is like when you purchase some service or when you purchase a device, even you purchase a phone, they they comes with a default configuration, and there's a misconception that whatever is a vendor has designed or vendor has set the configuration, they are best. This is misconception, because the vendor set the setting which is based on the high performance. So device will perform well with those settings, but they might not be based in the security. So security is not their priorities when they design or they deliver the solution, because they want solutions to be running fine with the high efficiency, but security may be lagging. So default security configuration is not always good. We always review what is our security policy and what are the default area default accounts. So there's like some there are the default accounts there which may not be required by the companies, and we always should be change or delete those default accounts. Also some permissions are there, like directly listing permissions on the servers is enabled by default. We have to delete it. Also in the cloud, if you go with the default security list, you will say the port 22 is open from the internet. This is also something, because those default are being opened for the understanding of the general use case, but you have to see your environment, your application requirement. Also there are some applications when you purchase a phone of any vendor, they give some application inbuilt with the OS. You might not require it, so you uninstall them. If they are not required to your protection system, remove them. They will come because they have a contract or MOU signed by the vendors on those applications, so they are selling actually. But if you don't need those applications, simply remove them when you move your solutions to the production environment. So prevention mechanism, we have seen that there should be hardening process. We should not trust if the device given or the configuration given by vendor is perfect. You always do a repeating hardening process, disable the default accounts, change the password of the admin accounts, stop the services which are not used. Then there should be newly software should be applied with the update in the latest patches. Also, there should be strong application architecture to provide effective and the secure separation between the component. And then there should be scans and audit should be run periodically to identify, detect, and misconfiguration and the missing patch of the applications. Also, the next one is insufficient logging and monitoring. So you cannot keep system on watch. You have to have some tool that should monitor the action, especially the actions of the admin accounts. Like if any auditable events like logging fails or high value transactions, if they are not logged, you will not able to aware if any fraud is happening or any attack is happening. Also, there should be some warnings or errors generated. You should have a clear logs and the correlationship between the logs. We have already covered the SIM system, very important tool for the logging and monitoring purpose. Then if any APIs we are using and the suspicious activities, we should report them. Important part is there should be a proper threshold defined, or let's say five long attempt, or there should be proper escalation process in case there is no action taken. And there should be logs only if you're storing the locally, you are not sending the centralized SIM system. That's also a problem. And as I inform, admin account should be must be any action done by admin account should be reported. Also, the penetration testing and the scans by DAST tools do not trigger any alert. We have to see those alerts are on. So this way you can detect and can at least uh, prevent some of the attacks. There are some prevention mechanism mentioned there that we have seen that ensure the all logins, access control failure, server side input validation should be logged in. There should be logs are generated in the format that can be easily consumed by centralized SIM system. As I informed, logs should not be proprietary, should be standardly generated. There should be high value transaction we have just discussed. There should be monitoring of the suspicious activity. There should be threshold defined, and there are some standard given by NIST number need not to be right, but they need you can follow those standards of the incident response and recovery plan identified by some NIST or other organization. An admin account is an inform which is high privilege account. The activity must be monitored. So that's for the theory part today. This very not very tough. Good to remember. Some questions may be asked from these topics. We'll cover them now. So let's say Which of the following threat type can occur when the baselines are not appropriately applied or unauthorized changes are made? So this is part of the, just we have covered the security misconfiguration, and baselining is like hardening process. Whatever our organization baseline defined, like there should be no admin account should be given, password policy like be this, there should be only this much vendor services we should use, this much port should be open. So if you don't follow those baseline and you do unauthorized changes, there are risk of the security misconfiguration. So these types of questions, this question from the official question bank can be asked from these topics. One more good questions that when John want to address the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities and some vulnerable and outdated components issues is for his organization, what he can do most effectively help identify them for his open source tools. So the open source tools he is using, there can be outdated and vulnerable components of and he want to ensure that he want to address this. This some of the questions you need to read the answer and have to apply some logic or the common sense on the answer. So first one is like engage a penetration testers. These options looks very like catchy and people go with those options, but please understand why a particular operation is being done. Penetration testing is done mainly, the purpose of the penetration testing is to ensure that there is no vulnerability and they are being done as a ethical hacker. So application is running and you try to hack the system as a ethical hacker. It does not identify any vulnerability in outdated page until if they are not hackable. So if you want to identify any vulnerable and outdated component, this cannot be helped. Static code review, more important on the other vulnerability like cross-site scripting, where you identify if the code is missing to do any validation, server-side validation, but this components it cannot identify. Automatic update also some to some extent is fine, but it will prevent that outdated component, but it will not identify if the components are outdated or not, or even some of the component does not have automatic updates available. Then use software composition analysis tools, more appropriate. And the detail of this one, FUC software composition, you can identify which component is being issued by which vendor and what are the version available for this one. This you can use to identify the outdated component. So option D will be correct. The last one, let's say Peter is reviewing the environment and based on this OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities, he knows that the container configuration is a top concern and has identified that his container is currently run as a root. How can he remediate this issue? This is security misconfiguration question, but as I informed that some of the questions will ask you to use your brain along with the theory. So here is the security misconfiguration is that some of the containers are running with the root run as a root, and there's a top security container configuration of these containers because they are currently run as a root. So the first one, like set up the operating systems to prevent the root login. So never go with the extreme options. This option is very extreme. It is preventing all the root operation, which is not a right answer, and you must not select those extreme options in the exam. Set a non-privileged users as a container owner. This also not a correct one. The reason is that even though non-privileged user is a container owner, even the root user can still do the misconfiguration by login. Set non-privileged user as a process owner. This is a right answer, but we'll read one more option, then we'll come to this. The last one is use multi-factor authentication for root user. So MFA looks sketchy, people go with those options. ICA score also put such options which looks sketchy and people select them. MFA is good to have for root account security, but here we are not about asking about the root account security, we are asking about the if we don't want the container to be run from root user, then we should not go with those options. Then only option left is a non-privileged users as process owner. If you set it, then non-privileged user can be a process owner and can be this root configuration will not be touched by them. So this way, this answer can be given even you don't know the answer. You can eliminate with the remaining options. So this for today. Hope you have found it relevant. If you like it, please like my channel, subscribe my channel, and share it with your friends. Thank you. Write me for your feedback or any assistance you need in your preparation.